Welcome to Avalon State of the Arts, where we explore different components and dimensions of our school, Avalon School of the Arts, and its music counterpart, the Avalon Music Academy of Holland.
We're your hosts, Rich and Marie, and we look forward to sharing interesting topics about our school in a fun, easy-to-listen-to format.
Because my mom, who founded our school, taught me, if you're not having fun with this, then you're not doing it right. Well, hello and September greetings, Avalonians. It sure is an exciting time here at the studio. What with fall dance classes back in session, of course, music lessons going on, and theater back in session also. A lot of energy and enthusiasm going on here at the school. It's a wonderful thing to be a part of. September, where the days feel like summer still, but the nights are getting colder, and we are seeing the first signs of winter as our dance department is doing Nutcracker auditions with over 100 kids already auditioning and more auditions scheduled for this week. Also in music news, we're at our highest enrollment ever. I'm actually sending out a newsletter this week, which has open lesson time. So if you'd like to get in on music lessons, make sure to either give us a call, 616-834-0854. Visit the website, avalonmusicacademyofholland.com, and there's an online registration page on there with open days and times. Our next scheduled event in the music department is about a month away. We're having another open mic night on Saturday, October 19th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. This is a great chance for kids to get together, play a song they've been working on. We talk about the song, and then we also talk about other, components of performance, including the way microphones and sound work, some gig etiquette things, just a fun way to learn more about performing, as well as to get a chance to play some songs you've been working on in a supportive environment. Also, do stay tuned as we are in the planning phases for a first anniversary of being in our new building celebration. It seems crazy to think that we've only been here for 1 year. Oh my gosh, the time has flown by, but we'll be sending out information regarding a celebration, most likely involving hot dogs, face painting, and lots of fun activities on a weekend afternoon. All right, with all that said, it is now time for our feature for this week, exploring and explaining music lesson registration and policies, which I talk about a lot this time of year. I really enjoy it, so we're going to be going through that, including some frequently asked questions and kind of the reasoning behind the policies. So here you have it, music lesson registration. Well, hello there, Marie.
Hi, Rich.
How are you doing on this fine fall day?
I'm doing amazing.
You may have noticed that there is a new scent in the air here in my studio.
Yes, I notice it every time I walk in.
It is the scent of the season. I am debuting a new thing. This is the scent of fall. This is the scent of apples, and it is the scent of cinnamon.
Well, it's delightful. It smells like you've been baking muffins.
I have received nothing but positive feedback from the scent of fall here.
Well, I think there are worse things it could smell like, so I think it's great.
All right. Well, I'm glad that I got your stamp of approval on that also. So since it's kind of like the beginning of the school year with all of the new students coming in, inquiries that we have, I thought it would be a fun idea to go through, kind of like our registration process for music lessons and go through the policies as far as that's usually what we get asked a lot when people call for inquiries, so we can just have an audio format of that people
frequently
can listen
asked questions. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yes.
All right. Well, why don't we start off by you just telling us some details about lessons?
All right. Well, to start, as an overview, We have students of all ages here at the Academy. We have kids, we have adults. All of our lessons are one-on-one lessons, and that's an important part of it too, as sometimes we get asked as far as doing semi-private lessons or group lessons, and our lessons are geared towards one-on-one just because that way we're able to give the student personal attention, and every student kind of progresses at the same pace. Sometimes we'll have maybe a parent and a child who want to do a lesson together, and we like to separate that out just because they're going to progress at different levels and have different questions. Now, that's not to say that when they rehearse together, they can't play together and learn some of the same things, but we separate it to one-on-one just for that personalized attention. Those lessons are 30 minutes weekly, and we sign students up to start the week of registration or the upcoming week.
Awesome. And how does it work with scheduling your lesson?
As far as scheduling and signing up, we have a multitude of options. You can go to our website, avalonmusicacademyofholland.com, and then just hit the registration tab, and that'll bring you to a page where you can do full online registration, including picking your day and time, and do it all online. Also, you can give us a call at 616-834-0854, or just send us an email to info@avalonmusicacademyofholland.com.
Awesome. And how much do lessons cost?
So just like the dance department, registration is $25, and then lessons are $30 per week, billed monthly. So basically, payment for the month is taken out at the beginning of the month. That's usually on the first, but as far as our policy page, we say the first week, just in case the first hits on the weekend or there's a holiday involved.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense. So what happens if a child or a student is sick or on vacation and they miss their lesson?
I had been searching for a good answer to that question for some time, and I'm excited that I have found one that is working out so well. So, basically, that creates a lot of challenges as far as the fact that we're so busy, so it's tough to reschedule things just because, some teachers don't have extra spots, some teachers are only here on certain days, and so rescheduling just isn't possible. So therefore, our policy is for any lessons that are missed, and this could be, like you mentioned, for vacation or illness or maybe a school trip, something of that nature, the teacher creates a video lesson for the student in the time that lesson would take. So it's a personalized video lesson where they'll have an email dialogue with, hey, sorry we missed you today, give the student some objectives, and then record video snippets of them showing the techniques and showing the things that the kids can do to the goals for that week. So basically the idea here is that the student can watch that anytime during the week, and then they'll be ready for the next lesson.
Yeah, so it just keeps them on track, and then you aren't missing an entire week and regressing at all in your abilities. You're able to maintain and move forward. That's wonderful.
Yeah, and there's actually a library feature involved. So whenever this happens, then the email we have on account will get a notification that there's a new lesson, and they can log into their portal and see it, but it'll save all of those lessons. So if the student ever wants to go back and review anything, they're all there in a library format.
That's really cool. What if a student wants to take a break from lessons for any reason, like they have a school activity or a sport or vacation or anything like that? So
we have a lot of different options there. So there's some nuance to that question. First off, if it's something where the student's only going to be gone for a few weeks or a month, we can do that video lesson option, and that's great because it can keep the student progressing and reviewing and moving forward. We also offer some other options in that regard, including if you'd like to lease your lesson space to a family member or a friend, they can come on your stead until you're ready to resume. This is important because right now we're at our highest enrollment ever, so we have limited availability for new students in new spots. So basically, once a spot gets vacated, it gets filled up really, really fast. So if this is something where it's more of a long-term thing, or the student wants to just be done with lessons for a while, then you just have to let us know by the 15th of the month. Since we bill monthly, withdrawals are due by the 15th of the month. Let us know by the 15th. And that would just be your last month.
Great. Are online lessons available?
So, this all came to us, and we did a episode earlier about the history of Avalon when we were talking about how we all had to go online because of necessity.
Yeah.
But I think that's how the online system was introduced to everyone, and we still have that option available. And this can be, we have some students that do all online lessons, or we also have some students that do partially online and partially in person. And we actually even have students that do partially video recorded lessons and partially in person. So yes, we do offer online Zoom lessons, and that can be something where you just call the office and let us know if it's something you're going to be doing that day or just that week. Sometimes maybe a parent can't get the child to the studio, and so we can do it on a piece-by-piece basis, or if it's something where it's a longer-term basis, once again, you just let us know. We have a different Zoom room for each lesson room, and each lesson room has its own iPad, so that way the address to the online lesson is going to be the same each week.
Yeah, that's really neat. And I, just us personally, our nephew, Benny, has been doing guitar lessons with you completely on Zoom for how long now?
Gosh, probably like 2 years.
Which is so neat. It's, of course, a great way for you guys to bond, but more so it shows what you can accomplish in a Zoom lesson and opens up, opportunities to kids who might not live near a music studio or have teachers at their access. We have all these wonderful instructors here that could be accessible to them through the online lessons.
Yeah, and it's really become even deeper too, where through the use of that plus our online video lesson portal, we can send through materials and things like that for the students to work on.
Yeah.
So it even kind of bridges that gap as far as, we need a new song or something like that. So everything is manageable in that regard.
Cool. So as far as weather goes, with the winter coming and snow and kind of crazy weather that happens there, what happens if there's a snow day on your lesson day? How do you guys handle that? So
our inclement weather policy here at the school, I guess in general, is that we observe West Ottawa Public Schools inclement weather days. So lessons will be held online that day through Zoom. And therefore, if the student is unable to do an online lesson, the video lesson will be posted in their online journal that day. And as far as once again, the big umbrella policy for Avalon, if roads are clear, we'll notify students that we are open by 1 p.m. Yeah, correct. Super. So more big picture, in music lessons, what does a student learn? Well, I guess that question is asked a lot by prospective students and parents. And the answer is that our teachers make it a priority to get to know each student on a personal level and become familiar with each student's personal musical needs and goals. So basically, we don't treat every student the same in terms of what and how we teach. A 7-year-old having their first guitar lesson will have different needs than a 57-year-old taking up guitar for the second time after having had lessons as a child. And so one of the main reasons to choose Avalon is that we are sensitive to the fact that every student is an individual. And if you enroll here for lessons, we work with you to make a plan that will fit the student's needs and musical preferences. At the first lesson, the teacher asks about any favorite types of music and sets goals to accomplish whatever musical aspirations are there. Great.
And what styles and types of music do we teach here?
So we teach all styles from rock, pop, jazz, country, blues, and classical. And to that regard, once again, it's going to be based mainly on the students' interests. Now, I guess that's not to say, too, that there aren't just some basic things that every musician needs to know. So if you're starting from the beginning, we build you up from the ground up on your basic musical knowledge, basic technique, those sorts of things. But after that, if you have a preference, we can go in one of those directions.
Right. So you keep building the technique to have a solid musical foundation, but then it's geared toward the student's interest.
Exactly.
Fabulous. Great. And what are the qualifications of the instructors that we've got here on staff?
So our teachers have received their education from prestigious institutions such as Hope College, Western Michigan, Berklee College of Music, and lots of other ones. Many of the instructors have gone on performance tours of the U.S. and have many years of professional performance and teaching experience. But I guess in addition to their teaching credentials, one of the things that's really important to me is that all of our teachers have warm personalities, they're extremely friendly, and they strive to get to know each student on a personal level as well as the musical level.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. I think that one of the nicest aspects of our faculty here is that what genuinely kind people we have who work with us, and how much care and attention they put into their relationships with their students.
Yeah, that's something that's really important to me when I'm looking to hire a teacher.
Great. And then as far as the commitment involved in signing up for music lessons, does it require a long-term commitment? Like what kind of guidance can you give people on that?
Well, I talk about that a lot too, and this is kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to shape our policies this way, is that we just go month to month. So once again, if the student wanted to take a break, just let us know by the 15th of the month. So therefore, there's no long-term semester commitment with all of this. We want to make sure that every student is having fun, every student's progressing, every student's practicing, every student's enjoying themselves. So there's not a long-term commitment, just a monthly one.
Well, and I think that is really great and can fit into people's lifestyles nicely, but is a good way to also recognize that learning an instrument, having music be a part of your life, is something you can keep revisiting throughout your life. So it may be you did lessons as a kid and then were no longer involved in lessons, but then can reapproach your relationship with music as an adult or as an older person and have a different experience as a student.
Exactly. We're ready to fit in with wherever you are ready to have music involved in your life.
It kind of makes me want to take violin lessons again.
All right, we'll sign you up.
I don't think anybody really wants to hear that, though. Okay. What other details would you like to share about the Avalon music program?
As far as programs I love to talk about and things that set us apart, there's a few of them. First off, of course, as we've talked before, we do recitals twice yearly, once at Christmas time and once in the summer. The Christmas music recitals are held at the Park Theater, so it's a big deal. It's got a nice stage, it's got lighting, it's got a professional sound system, so it gives the kids just a chance to show off what they've learned in a supportive environment, and more importantly, maybe to me, is that to have a fun time doing it. I want to make sure that all of our students have the tack that playing music in front of people is an enjoyable experience. It's a fun time.
Yeah, I think you do a really good job of executing that too, because every music recital I've ever been to feels very lighthearted, very supportive. It's in small groups with families all cheering for each other's kids. It just and each other's adults. It just seems always very warm. And then you always bring brownies too. So
yeah, I always want to make sure that first and foremost, everybody has a fun time playing music.
Absolutely.
To that end, too, we do informal open mic nights bi-monthly in our studio warehouse space, which is called Studio 5, which is it's on the music side of the building, kind of on the eastern side. And that's something that's even a little more informal than our recitals, where the students will come in and they'll play something, and then we'll talk about other things in regards to performance that a lot of students may not have considered. One of the last most recent ones, we started talking about like how microphones work.
Oh, sure.
And therefore, like how speakers produce noise and those sorts of things. So that way they get more of an overview of how things work in a functional way. From the standpoint, I guess basically don't point the microphone at the speaker. Things
right.
of that nature. That way, when you get into a performance opportunity, you'll have some groundwork on it going in as far as knowing what to do.
Well, and I think that's an example, too, of life lessons that are learned through the experience of studying music or dance, too. Like even that, what you just mentioned about learning how to use a microphone properly. I mean, how many times have we all been to weddings or to places where people are speaking on a microphone? They don't know how to hold it. They don't know how far away from their face to hold it, how to project and speak into it. So even something as simple as just learning that in an informal setting can be really valuable later in life.
Yeah, and once again, you're learning that in a positive way.
Sure. No stress.
Yep. Learning about feedback
in a fun way.
Negative way.
Absolutely.
And then, as far as other programs that we do, we have a musical achievement system. It's called Musical Ladder. And basically, the analogy that I make is, let's say that a student was starting to take karate, for instance. After they've been doing it for a few months, then they'll get a challenge, and they pass the challenge, and they get their green belt in
belt
karate,
testing,
right?
Sure, something like that.
So we have the same sort of a thing, but we use wristbands. So the way that it works is that after the student's been taking lessons for 3 months, the teacher makes up a challenge for them to practice. They come back and play the piece for the teacher, and they can get their apprentice wristband. And we make a big deal out of it. We give them a certificate. We take a picture of them in front of our Avalon banner that we then put on our studio TV so everybody can see it. We email the picture to the parents, and we also can put it on social media. So it just gives them not only recognition for everything they've achieved, but kind of a positive step in moving forward to the next thing.
And those kids love those wristbands. They are so proud of them too. And I would say too, I've seen some adult students who also are very proud of their wristbands, and absolutely, definitely should be. So
yeah, it's funny. So at some of those levels, there's trophies involved.
Oh, the trophies,
and, it's always fun if I'm in the office. Every now and again, I'll see a student who comes up to the desk and says, "Has the new trophy order come in?"
Oh, yes. It's always highly anticipated when the trophy order comes in.
Yeah, they're excited and they're fired up about it. And that's just another step in, once again, the big goal of making music a fun, positive experience. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I think that really has been great.
Wonderful. Well, hey, I think that takes us through a lot of the questions that I talk about a lot.
Sounds good. Maybe next week we can talk about kind of the same kind of questions, but about the dance program.
I will look forward to that.
Okay, I'll look forward to that as well.
All right. Thank you. Avalon offers dance classes, music lessons, and theater classes 6 days a week. With over 40 teachers, we have something for kids and adults and everyone in between. You can reach the dance and theater department at avalonschoolofthearts.com and the music department at avalonmusicacademyofholland.com. Where dreams begin is in that magical space within. When your heart and your mind and your soul intertwine in wonder, that's where dreams begin.